Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of entitled people. In today's episode, be roommates with my son and give him your games and food. Be roommates with my son and give him your games and food. Update. Be roommates with my son and give him your games and food. Update Part 2. Be roommates with my son and give him your games and food. Update the last. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Be roommates with my son and give him your games and food. Hey people of Reddit, this isn't my story, but it's my cousin's. My cousins and their roommate told me this story last January. I thought it was funny, so I thought that I'd share. By the way, cousin and his roommate are both 16 and my little cousin is 12. A entitled mom demanded that her 12-year-old first-year son be allowed to live in the room with my cousins and their roommate. Meet everybody. OC equals older cousin. LC equals little cousin. RM equals roommate. EM equals entitled mom. EK equals entitled kid. SG equals security guard. EKRM equals entitled kid's roommate. The setting: my cousins go to a very elite private all-boys school grades 6 to 12 in the New England region of the United States. So it's not uncommon to encounter an entitled parent and kid here or there. Now let me state that my cousins are not entitled. They apply for financial aid and have campus jobs to afford the $60K a year tuition. Now my older cousin is the student body president of the school. Because of this, the president gets a room that is 1,200 square feet, has a fully functional kitchen and bathroom. The room also had a large living space, balcony, and office. The other rooms just have 2 beds, 2 closets, 1 desk, and a small window. They're around 150 square feet. Because my little cousin is related to older cousin, he was allowed to live in the room versus the standard dorms. Cousin's roommate was also the student body treasurer, so the dean allowed him to live in the room too, because he was my cousin's friend. With 3 guys living together, there was a surplus of video games and junk food, just guys being guys. With the new semester starting, student body officers have to help with orientation, helping the parents get the first-year students settled in. Because little cousin was already settled and he was just playing games on the PS4 with the door open. Cue entitled mom and kid. EM, nice at first, excuse me? LC, yes? EM, I am looking for my son's dorm and I can't find it. Can you help me? LC, hey, I'm new here myself, so I don't know much. My brother is responsible for helping first years, so let me call him. Entitled mother and her son wait for about 25 minutes for older cousin to arrive. So LC was playing games with EK on the PS4, eating junk food, and showed them around the room. Older cousin arrives. OC, hey, I'm OC, you must being the mom trying to find her son's dorm? EM, now rude, yes, I've been waiting for someone to help me. Older cousin first disregards her tone as orientation day is hard. Older cousin goes on his phone with the info that the mom gives and directs her. Apparently entitled kid only lives down the hallway to the left. Entitled mom leaves with entitled kid and his luggage and leave. Entitled kid says in that gosh awful voice as he's leaving, I want to play more games. Entitled mom says, you can later. Older cousin has this look on his face, closes the door and plays on the PS4 with little cousin. 10 minutes later, there are loud bangs on the door. Older cousin sees who it is. It's entitled mom and her brat have returned with his luggage. EM, I need your help now. Her brat runs to the PS4. OC, what seems to be the problem? Entitled mother starts whining. EM, my son's room is small. It's not like this one. Who do we talk to about this? Ozzy, I'm sorry if you're unsatisfied with your living situation. You'll have to talk to a counselor about his situation, and nobody has a room like this one because I'm the president. The entitled kid starts rummaging through games. Egg, do you have Fortnite? Ozzy, hey. Put that down. Don't talk to my son that way. Besides, my son need more living space. Do something. At this time, entitled kid is still rummaging. Then little cousin then pushes him to the side and locks the game cabinet, and he starts screaming. Roommate was also returning to the room with his lunch. Ek, I want to play games. LC, this is our room and you can't use my things if I don't want you to. EK screams, I want to. RM, what's going on? Entitled mother interrupts. These boys won't help me find a room like this one for my son. RM, oh, that's impossible. This is the only room that is like this one. Besides, this room is only for the president. Condescendingly, then how come you're here? Roommate explains. RM, little cousin is related to older cousin, so he can stay here. I'm in student government with older cousin and allows me to live here. OC, yeah, I told her that. Entitled mother then says to older cousin and roommate. You should let my son live here. Entitled kid overhears his mom. He now thinks that he lives in the room. He goes to the fridge and tries to get a soda. Little cousin blocks him and says, LC, you are not our guest, nor do you live here. Don't touch our food. Ek, foo. This is my room too. And you have to share. OC then says to get her kid out because he is a nuisance and bothering my brother. No. Older cousin and roommate are not having it. They ask her politely, yet firmly, to leave. Entitled mother walks in and proceeds to unpack her son's luggage. Entitled kid is also having a fit because little cousin isn't letting entitled kid have any food. Ek, mom. He won't let me have some donuts. Don't worry, mommy will help after I unpack you. OC and RM, firmly, your son isn't living here. Yes he is. My son is an angel. You should be glad to be friends with him. OC, I am not interested in living or being friends with your son. Leave now. Entitled mom ignores older cousin and continues to unpack with her entitled kid still screaming, I want donuts. He then screams at little cousin, I want to play your games. Little cousin says no. The kid then starts screaming high-pitched. Older cousin, little cousin, and roommate have had enough of this charade and they proceed to drag them out and throw his luggage in the hallway and lock the door. Entitled mom and son continue to bang and howl. Entitled mom promises that she'll get her son back in. So she leaves. At this time, friends were coming over and someone accidentally let entitled kid in the room. People confused ask who he is. EK says, I'm entitled kid. Live here. Entitled kid then start demanding to use the PS4. Older cousin sees him and kicks him out again. With him shouting, I want to stay, his mom then returns with a security guard. These boys kicked my son out of his room. Do something. SG, lady, I know for a fact that your son doesn't live here. He needs to stay here. This room is much better than the other ones. Security guard then asks if the mom is bothering them. Everybody says yes. He says, I'll take care of the mom, and asks cousins to take care of the kid. Entitled kid is dragged out again. EK sadface shouts, my daddy will foo up for this. The mom was escorted of the campus grounds. Older cousin and roommate forcibly moved entitled kid into his room for him. Little cousin ended up becoming friends with entitled kid's roommate as the months have passed. Entitled kid has been so bratty and annoying that entitled kid's roommate has had sleepovers with little cousin almost every night. Because of this, entitled kid packs a overnight bag and almost always follows his roommate and demands to let in. I was told it goes down like this. EK, let me in roomie, you can't have a sleepover without me. LC, go away, we are never letting you in. EK, I want to see my roomie, he'll vouch for me. You can't play games or have a sleepover without me. Entitled kid's roommate comes out and put his ice cream on the table. EKRM, I stay here 4 to 5 days a week because I need a break from you. Please go away. Egg, OMG. Traitor. So much for loyalty. The least you can do is share that ice cream. Roommate get up and closes the door. Egg, OMG. Let me in. I'm not playing. My cousin's roommate and entitled kid's roommate turned the volume on the TV louder and tuned out his pleas and crying. They later woke to him sleeping at the front of the door at 6 a.m. He stayed there for 10 hours. I know it was a long story, so thanks for sticking know it all. If you want to update about entitled kid, I'll ask my cousins to share more stories, which I'm sure they have plenty of. At this point, maybe it's best to bring this to the school's teachers or dean. Also, if there is security there, maybe call them when he gets out of hand like that. Sounds like he's always been given what he wants if the throws a fit long enough. Yes. It sounds like, 1, he's being disruptive, which can negatively impact your education, 2, he's behaving in a manner that could be seen as threatening and or stalking, and 3, he's leaving his place and trespassing at yours. If he got hurt in some way while doing this, the school could be found liable. Man, I thought the EK was a little kid. Be roommates with my son. And give him your games and food. Update. Hey people of Reddit. My cousins gave me a recent update about the entitled mom and her entitled son that has been harassing them during the school year. If you haven't read my first post, stop and read the first one so you can understand the setting. So, my cousins, their roommate, and entitled kid's roommate, were going on vacation President's Day weekend. Entitled mom demanded that her son be allowed to vacation to New York City with them. This was on Entitled People. But my cousins said I should also post here to share the love. So entitled kid's roommate's parents live in New York City around 5th Avenue. For those of you who don't know, 5th Avenue is some of the most expensive real estate in the city. Entitled kid's roommate's parents were allowing my cousins and their roommate to stay in New York for free, with meals included because they are friends with entitled kid's roommate. All my cousins had to do was drive there, which is around 3 hours. As entitled kid has been harassing my cousins, their roommate and his roommate's semester, he overheard the situation and he demanded to go. When his attempts to go fails, he then calls his mom, who drives from another state, to demand that the gang take her son on vacation with them. Meet everybody. OC equals older cousin. LC equals little cousin. RM equals roommate. EM equals entitled mom. EK equals entitled kid. SC equals security captain. D equals the dean. EKRM equals entitled kid's roommate. So in February on the 20th, my cousins, their roommate, and entitled kid's roommate are talking to little cousin to the rest of the gang to try and get a game plan together for the New York trip. Entitled kid hears entitled kid's roommate's phone call about planning the trip, and then it goes as followed. EK, hey, where are you going? EKRM, home to New York with the guys. Why? EK, can I come too? Please? EKRM, I think not. EK, why not? EKRM, I don't want you at my house or around my family. Entitled kid gets pissed and starts getting upset. Then entitled kid's roommate then goes to the room to hang with my cousins and their roommate. Entitled kid then follows. The door is shut in his face. EK, let me in. Everyone tells him to go away, and they proceed to plan for the vacation. Entitled kid then proceeds to say, "EK, let me in or I'll get my mom." Everyone knows that his mom lives another state away. So, everyone was like, "Go get her then." The gang proceeded to plan the New York trip with entitled kid begging to be let in. This proceeded for 3 hours and his mom came. She drove from the next state over. She knocked on the door, they opened it and it went like this. Just so you know, my older cousin didn't remember who entitled mom was at first because it had been a month since he'd last saw her, but her behavior soon jogged his memory. Around this time everyone was preparing to leave as they had made all the final preparations. "OC, hello, can I help you?" Yes. "My son says you won't let him go to New York with you guys." "Why won't you?" Older cousin has this why-me look on his face and says, "OC, I'm sure that you remember our last conversation. Me, my roommate, and Bother want nothing to do with your son. The place where we are staying is entitled kid's roommate's house and he has expressed that he doesn't want him to come." Entitled mom and kid look pissed and she says that she can pay for her son to go if that's the problem. Then little cousin gets involved. "LC, look, it doesn't matter that you can pay for him to go. We just don't want him go. He is going. Don't you know how I am? How dare you speak to me that way? My son will be going with you on this trip, and that's that." Then entitled kid's roommate get involved. "EKRM, hey, I don't want your kid at my house. Seriously, he has been bothering me all semester and has made things harder for me. I sure as hell don't want him near my family or my home." Entitled kid butts in with his attitude. OMG. Why do you have to be so mean? You spent all your time here and never invite me. You have to let me come to make it up to me. EKRM, no I don't. It's my house. Then entitled kid starts wailing and demands his mom let him to New York with them. Older cousin with an annoyed and sarcastic voice says, "OC, well, nice seeing you again. Bye." The gang proceeds to lock up the room and bring the luggage down to the car. Everyone goes on one last bathroom break before going on the road. However, little cousin didn't lock the car. For those of you that know, Fords have a keypad on the driver door to lock and unlock the car. Little cousin didn't press the buttons right and the car didn't lock. When the gang came back to the car, entitled kid was in the back seat with his headphones on, with his mom waving as she drives away. It goes as follows. Hey, come back. Have fun in New York. The gang realizes that her kid has just been dumped on them and that they are stuck. Little cousin says that we should call security. So older cousin does. They explain on the phone that entitled mom dumped her kid on them and that we are bringing him over because he is not their responsibility. Entitled kid takes of his headphones and says, "EK, come on already. Get this shitbox, 94 Crown Victoria, in gear." Now the security office is around half a mile from the dorms, so for a while entitled kid had this look on his face like he had one. The gang pulls up to the security office, his smirk disappears. As both, the captain of the school and the dean were there. The captain says, "SC, you want to explain what you are doing in older cousin's car?" Entitled kid is sweating bullets and nervously says, "EK, I'm going on vacation. My mom said I could." The captain then says to the gang, "SC, is this true?" Everyone, no. His mom just demanded that we let him go. She put in and drove off. The captain then orders entitled kid out of the car. Entitled kid then asks for older cousin to pop the trunk till he can get his bag out. Everyone just has this "you gotta be kidding" look when he said that. The dean, who I'm told is a very kind old man, he gave entitled kid a very firm talking to. It went like this. D equals in my 35 years, I've never had to deal with a more petulant child than you. I was light on your punishment the first time. I won't be the case this time. Your behavior is unexceptionable. You have put me in an impossible position. The dean and the captain take entitled kid away and his was severely punished. He was put on probation, so that meant that he couldn't participate in sport or other events. Was given 20 days detention doing landscaping, and a security guard personally escort him to and from his classes. All in all, the gang had a pretty good vacation. Entitled mom did call entitled kid's roommate's phone to lay into everybody. She was quickly blocked and the gang hasn't from her since. P.S. If you want to update, let me know and I'll see what's going on. They say that they have many stories about this kid and his awful mom. Thanks for sticking trough the long read. When I saw that sentence where the mom dumps the kid to you guys, I got that urge to just drag the kid out and punch the mom, but I would not do that because of assault charges. Yup, I agree 100%. That kid is so whiny that I think he deserves his punishment. Feel good that the dean actually took actions. Sorry, bad spelling. Is it really assault to pull an unwanted person from your vehicle? I'd assume that's self-defense. Entitled mom used flee. It wasn't very effective. Everyone in the group vehemently and obviously dislikes me. I simply must go on vacation with all of them. What? YTF would you want to spend time with a group of people you know don't like you? This kid and his mom seem like seriously emotionally stunted people. LMAO, I do not understand this at all. Be roommates with my son. And give him your games and food. Update Part 2. Hey people of Reddit, my cousins gave me a second update about a couple days ago about entitled mom and kid that has been harassing them this semester. Now they told me that this happened 3 to 8 days after the New York trip, so this was before quarantine. So my cousins told me that they do first-year student elections during January to February. Entitled kid threw a tantrum when he lost the election for class president and his entitled mom howled at my cousin. Meet everybody. OC equals older cousin. LC equals little cousin. RM equals roommate. EM equals entitled mom. EK equals entitled kid. EKRM equals entitled kid's roommate. Vice equals student body vice president. NK equals nice kid. EKND equals entitled kid's nice dad. D equals the dean. So the setting. My cousin and his roommate were having a council meeting discussing the first-year elections. Now I was told that the meetings are for student council members and prospects only. Because nice kid was going to be a candidate for president, so he was allowed in. His dad is a janitor and he works a campus job, so he doesn't live on campus. The door opens. Q entitled kid. EK, hi everyone. My cousin didn't want to deal with his BS and told him to leave. He asked why he couldn't stay and he stated the meeting was for student officers and prospects only. Then entitled kid asked, EK, what's a prospect? OC, a prospect is someone who plans to run for office. They are then included in the meeting because they are an associate member. Then entitled kid asked why nice kid was allowed in. Then older cousin stated nice kid is a prospect, that's why. Entitled kid then said, EK, I'm gonna be a prospect. Now my cousin knew that if you're on disciplinary probation, which he was, it's impossible for someone to get an appeal. The last time an appeal was successful was 1996, and the last time someone tried was 2009. With that in mind, older cousin laughed in his head and wished him luck, knowing that it would never get approved. Then his mom called the student council office to try to get information about an appeal. Now my cousin said the peer council is in charge of appeals. It is comprised of 12 student officers, 3 10th years, 3 11th years, and 3 12th years. The student body vice president's vote counts twice. Now his mom was there in the parking lot during the day of the vote. The vote was 6 out of 5. So entitled kid's appeal was approved. Older cousin had this why look on his face, and he saw entitled mom was in the parking lot and her boy came and hugged her. She then said, I told you that mommy would take care of it. She then saw older cousin walked up to him and said, my son got his appeal approved. You have to share that room and be his friend. Yeah. Older cousin sat there blank for a moment as he realized that he now has to spend time with entitled kid because he is a prospect. Then entitled mom says, excuse me. Didn't you hear what I said? You're going to spend time with my son now. Older cousin then leans towards the mom and told the mom in an eerie way, see, let it begin. But in truth older cousin was scared shitless. He realized that if nice kid lost he would be stuck with entitled kid for the rest of the year. The election was on February 25th, so he had 4 days to get a game plan. He asked nice kid and the rest of the gang to meet at the room to figure out what to do. It went like this. Okay guys, we need to figure something out. If entitled kid wins we're gonna be stuck with him for the rest of the year. I have a good feeling I can win. That's not the point. Yeah, I can imagine that his mom is going to bribe other students to try to get them to vote for her son. We don't have a lot of money, that's the point. So we have very limited cash resources to make you look good. I see. Then entitled kid's roommate called his dad and told him what was going on. He stated that his roommate could be class president if he doesn't help them. Entitled kid's roommate's dad agreed to help. So getting nice kid exposure was the only thing that was left. The gang worked tirelessly to promote nice kid's campaign. Even had a town hall with free pizza. Older cousin said that entitled kid really wasn't campaigning. Older cousin was thinking that maybe he just thought that he was going to win, so he didn't put in any effort. The eve of the election, older cousin had a meeting with the prospects in his room and told them that their parents have been called and they will be at the announcement when the results are in. Older cousin then proceeded to talk to nice kid and entitled kid about student government. Nice kid was being cool. But entitled kid was demanding to eat sweets and to play games. It went like this. Come on. Let me have a honey bun and turn the PS4 on. That's not what this meeting is about. It's to prepare you for what is going to happen tomorrow. OMG. Turn it on now. He said no. EKEFF you mother. I'm gonna be your roommate soon when I become president. You're gonna have to share eventually, so stop holding out. Everybody just sighs loudly to where it's obvious. Then entitled kid says, what? It was time to end things, so older cousin dismissed entitled kid and nice kid. Nice kid left at that time. Entitled kid's roommate was coming to sleep over. Hey, can we are still on for tonight, right little cousin? Yeah, I'll pull out the couch. Then entitled kids asks, can I sleep over too? No. Pouts, why not? Because you don't live here and aren't our guest. Well, I'm gonna stay anyway. Entitled kid then proceeds to sit on the couch. The gang ask him to move, but he doesn't. The gang isn't having it, especially little cousin. Little cousin stands over him and entitled kid says, nigga, what the EFF you want? Keep in mind my cousins are black. He's white. we can either do this the easy way, or we can do it my way. EK, shut up, you ain't gonna to nothing. The gang then drags him out and he banged on the door for an hour begging to be let back in. Fast forward to tomorrow. The parents, students, and faculty are all there. Vice was getting ready to read the results. Vice, everybody, thank you for coming. This is a time where we greet the new class officers, our first-year students. Everyone please be quiet, we will be starting at this time. Vice then proceeds to say the candidate and how many votes they received. Vice, for entitled kid, 85 votes. Because student elections aren't that important to first years, 85 was a lot of votes. Then parents started to chat. Entitled mom and son were looking smug, looking like they had one. Older cousin admitted to having this OH crap. Look, then Vice banged his gavel and said order. Vice, for nice kid, 764 votes. Nice kid wins. Little cousin and entitled kid's roommate turned to entitled mom and son and pointed in their face and said booyah. Nice kid's parents were there and congratulated him, and so did the rest of the gang. Entitled mom and son were pissed. But my cousin said that entitled kid's dad was just there and he was really polite. Entitled mom and son pulled her husband away from the crowd and she demands he do something. You pay this school a lot of tuition. Our boy has to be president. EK&D, well over 700 people decided that they didn't want entitled kid to be president. I can't do anything. EK, having a tantrum, I'm supposed to be president. Now look what you did, you made him cry. Come on mommy, we'll buy you ice cream. She then turned to older cousin. You jerk. You plotted against my son, didn't you? Oh see, well. I didn't help him. You owe my son. You didn't take him on the trip with you, and you've been bullying him all semester. If you don't be his friend, you're gonna get a earful from my husband. EK, yeah, you effing jerk. EK&D, language. The entitled kid then flips the bird to older cousin and leaves with his mom. Older cousin then had a talk with the dad, and found out that he sent him to the school hoping that it would break his son's entitlement. Older cousin tells the dad what has been going on the semester. Everything. The dad looked shocked. He begins to apologize profusely for his wife and son's behavior. He stated that he thought he improving and making friends. Older cousin had to dispel that and said that entitled kid is being a great jerk and was being very rude and disruptive to the gang. He gave older cousin his number and said if entitled kid bothers them, just call him and put him on speaker. Nice kid ended up choosing entitled kid's roommate as his vice president. As the days went by, needless to say, entitled kid became even worse when entitled kid's roommate was in student government. He said, EK, you stole the election from me. You have pay for this. Entitled kid kept getting worse. Entitled kid's roommate made a desperate plea and begged the dean to switch his roommate. The dean said, I'm really sorry, but I have to, there is nothing left. I've asked other kids if they'll switch and nobody wants to. EKRM, can you do something? Well. There is one thing. EKRM, what is it? Well, theoretically student officers are allowed to live together. EKRM, I'm not following you? If you can convince the guys to let you move in with them, I'll allow it. Entitled kid's roommate later asked the guys if he could move in. My cousins and roommate said he is more than welcome to live in the room with them. So they proceeded to go and get his things, and it went down like this. OC, just put all your things on the bed and we'll get it. EKRM, alrighty. Entitled kid then says, EK, what are you doing? EKRM, I'm moving in with the guys. Ek, what? EKRM, yeah. EK, cool, well then I'm coming too. The gang gives a very sarcastic sure you can, and proceed to move entitled kid's roommate in. Roommate says in a really smug and sarcastic way. RM, oh wait. You can't move in with us, remember? You lost. Entitled kids throws a tantrum in the hallway and everyone sees. The gang get the rest of his roommate's things and finished moving him in. Entitled kid's roommate has had the best sleep in weeks. Entitled kid does still wait by my cousin's door and begs for his roommate to move back in and gives a half-assed apology. The gang promptly ignores him and says, "Gang, this pizza is so good and it's all ours. Wow, look at these graphics. This is such a cool game." Entitled kids begs to be let in, and the gang never does. They have woken up to him sleeping at the front of their door prior to the quarantine on more than one occasion. I know I was long, so thanks for reading. My cousins have said that he hasn't been around much due to the quarantine due to mandates by the dean, so it's unlikely that I'll have another story to post. But if so, I'll keep you in the loop. The only way the EK is gonna change is if his dad sends him to military school. But I'm sure his mom wouldn't allow it. The dad sends the kid to military school, great, fantastic. The kid gets a call or letter to mom complaining about how miserable he is. Mom transfers him out back to the private school or another private school and sets up a way so dad doesn't know. Hate to sound entitled here, but you should have stated at the top to get popcorn or something. This is more entertaining than most of the stuff on TV right now. Next week, on Douche in the Dorm. Yes, this world needs a TV show of reenacts of Reddit posts. Just imagine having whole subreddits full of little 5 minutes videos of their entitled parents/people stories. A dream come true. Just so you know, I like long stories. And this one is no different. I agree, they have the best results. First 2 stories were believable, this one reads like a crappy Nickelodeon teen drama. This kid is insane. I don't know how he is able to keep up in class. He also got destroyed in the election. I don't know how he won his appeal, but the dean should keep an eye on the kid, as I would boot him out if you find out the mother is playing dirty games. Be roommates with my son. And give him your games and food. Update the last. Due to our current situation, the governor there put new sanctions along with the Department of Health. Because of this, the dean said that parents had to go pick up their kids this Wednesday. The following took place. So, my cousins told me that parents were lining up to pick up their kids. Only a few were allowed to go in at a time due to social distancing. Entitled kid's roommate's mom came and picked him up early. So, roommate was carpooling with my cousin and his mom would pick him up from the next state over. Also, security, professors, and the dean himself were helping with the sending home process. Entitled mom and nice dad parked her car next to my cousin's car. She later then went into the dorm and proceeds to take the last of her son's things out. My cousins were right behind them. They didn't say anything to my cousins, so they had thought that they had took the past hints and were going to leave them alone. But they were wrong. Entitled mom, with her son behind her, then asked my cousins and their roommate. Hey. Cousins and roommate? OC, yeah? My son is going to miss you. Can I have your number so you can stay in contact? OC, no. Entitled kid pouts. Ek, why not? Her husband then gets out of their car and pulls them both over and said, I told you about doing this. The dean with a security guard then walked over and asked if everything was okay. My cousin stated I am. As always. The dean then pulled nice dad, my cousins, and roommate aside and said, You trusted me that I could help you, son. I admit that I have gotten soft over the years. You hoped that I could give your son some coping skills. I failed in this matter, so I'm sorry. The dean states to my cousins. Boys, my indecisiveness caused you to bear my burdens to a large extent. You shouldn't have been responsible for dealing with the shortcomings on my part. So, I apologize. The dean said that next semester he'd be compassionate, but firm. The dean then hugged Nice Dad and then left. My cousins asked, what was that about? Apparently, Nice Dad went to the school when he was younger. He stated that the school shaped him up, so he was hoping it could do the same for his son, and hopefully distance him from his over-encouraging mother. He went on that his son's entitlement caused him to have no friends at home, and he was sad to hear that the gang weren't his son's friends for obvious reasons. Nice Dad said if the gang needs help handling his wife or son after Corona blows over to let them know. My cousin and their roommate drove 6 hours their state, and his mom later picked him up. Entitled Kid sent my cousins an Instagram follow request and was blocked. Time has caught up with my cousin's stories and our current situation with the virus. Because they are online at home now, he said there isn't going to be another one. My cousins, the gang, and I do appreciate your kind words of advice and encouragement. May peace be with you always. Stay safe. I literally just saved the entire series of stories as PDFs. It's rare to read something so jarring from your own experience with your education years. I mean, I'm still in mine as a student of a Bachelor of Creative Writing, but it's about as vanilla as any other university situation compared to my primary and secondary school years. Autism does not make for an easy path through growing up. I have never encountered entitled parents, but I want to so that I can contribute to this site. By the way, how was your experience? This isn't my story. It's my cousins. They haven't heard from her or her kids since Wednesday. Now that they're home, they likely won't again until the new semester starts, assuming Corona blows over by then. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.